here in Guam, without the military right now, we would be really in bad shape.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And tourism is starting to come up with Asian markets, and especially in Korea, but the military is in full force. And
Yeah.
try getting a hotel room right now.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have visiting managers coming in next month. Yeah, they charge $300-400 a night. That's
Yeah.
real. That's nice to see.
Yeah, that's nice to see.
It really is. Yeah,
So Jason, do you have any, like, have you looked into anything in the actually like Russia and their, paying their, the debts and all of that? How did your analysts go into any of that? Like, how is that, would that affect quite a bit the economy? What have you read on anything about that?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of Russia, you can't trade in that market right now.
Right.
Nor can you send money in or take money out.
Yeah.
And so it's a restricted country.
Yeah.
Right now, it's actually federal. You cannot move money between Russia and the US or any other country around the world. They're obviously a big trading partner with China. And so, that's something that's continuous, whether China is getting a lot of their oil and resources from Russia still to this day, because, especially oil, where you don't need to trade on the dollar anymore. They can trade on other foreign currencies now. So Russia is still, plugging along, but their economy has been really shot, right?
Especially like, because we're gonna see some defaults, right, from Russia. I'm just wondering, like, what's the impact of that?
A lot of the managers, especially ones who had invested in Russia, have already written down assets. Right? So you don't have, exposure to that.
Okay.
Some of our other managers with our other clients had exposure to Russia and have written down the assets to zero, because you're not expecting anything. Even with like big banks like Sberbank in Russia, that was a heavily invested security all around the world. People were buying Sberbank in Russia, but we basically had segregated it from the account and also written it down to zero, just because we don't know the long-term effects of it. So, yeah, but your account wasn't, no investments in Russia.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for that. Any questions?
Yeah, just one coming at it a little left field. What about the US debt situation? And I'm looking at both of you guys because you got some major issues out there. And how to
Yeah, so our last webinar that we had, and I'd be happy to share that with you, we actually had a whole section on debt service. And now, I don't know if you realize, about almost 25% of our collections goes to debt service.
Yeah.
All around, bondholders all around the world.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal, because now you're seeing that, we haven't had that high of a debt service ratio, like in the history of the markets of the US. So this is an experiment that we're going through. We flood the market with so much cash. Inflation, of course, is rampant. The dollar obviously went up, and I think that's going to come back down. But, there's all these ideas out there in terms of trying to get this debt number figured down, right? And so,
but with the conflict in the House and the Senate, I mean, that's another issue too.
absolutely. I mean, we think there's going to be a shutdown. They're going to kick the can down the road.
That's what I'm
all
worried about.
media, they want to show that, to the media, to the public, that they can't agree, and that's fine. But, obviously, if we go down that road, and, we've been through it before. But yes, we are concerned about the debt service and the amount of debt that we have.
I think they've been a concern, but I like that term that you used, in is it's a, what did you say, experiment? No, this is like we're experimenting on
It's a whole experiment.
Just my 2 cents, and then we'll move on. But the difference, I think, in regards to US and any other country that would ever be in this kind of situation, is that we're the largest economy in the world. And I think that's where the difference comes in. Everybody's tied to the US. Everything that moves, it moves around the US. And so I feel like, yes, it's not fair, but reality is it's the world's economy. It's the biggest world economy, right? So, like I said, if any other country, or especially small, you're done. No one's going to deal with you anymore. But it's a little different because you're the biggest, largest. So, but yeah, I like that term. It's an experiment. This is the first time we're ever coming through this, and we'll see what happens. Because it is a unique situation because of the position the US is in. So yeah, thank you. All right, so okay, let's move on. Thank you, Jason and Amanda. I think, are they excused or? Oh, no, it's not more. Sorry. Yes, the conservatively managed portfolio, that's, item 3.3. And congratulations. That
Yes,
you are now.
thank you again for the opportunity to work with me and the public RFP bid and win. We had sent over the proposal along with the RFP, and we are actually recommending our conservative ETF, exchange traded fund portfolio, which basically is a passive portfolio. It's the lowest cost option when you invest in the markets. We have a fact sheet. Did we include that?
It should be in, no, it should be in
there.
It's right up on the screen.
Okay, perfect. So we have a fact sheet up here, so you can see it's 70% fixed income, cash, and 30% equity. And that 30% equity, even in our models, that's standard across all of our models. So our conservative model actually has 30% equity in it. The reason being is to battle inflation, right? I mean, if you have 100% fixed income right now, the best you're going to get is what, 4.5, maybe we're not at 5 yet, but once we get to 5, maybe 5%. But that's still less than inflation. And so in order to battle inflation, what we call a silent killer, we have to have some equities in there. And so we have about 30% of the equities with a combination of a majority in the US, about 20%, 25% US and 5% international. But the core of the portfolio is going to be your investment grade intermediate fixed income. And so on page 2, it's just a breakdown of all the ETFs in part of our model. So a lot of the big names like the Vanguard, the BlackRock iShares. And the beauty of this in Spider is that we're managing the allocations of this ETF portfolio. We're tweaking it every quarter, we're balancing every quarter. But it's a managed portfolio similar to what you have right now, except it's just one account and one model. And so this is what we are recommending, even in today's environment right now. Just because even though the market has run up, we actually think fixed income is going to prove very positive for investors going forward, especially as they start cutting rates into 2024. And what that does is the prices of bonds are actually going to pick up. And so you're going to actually make good money. We're going to get 4 to 5% in bonds this year, but you can potentially make even more, probably 6 to 8% next year with fixed income. So that's why we like this portfolio. And it's our recommended option for this conservative funds allocation that we have. Are there any questions from anyone?
I'm familiar with the ETF portfolio.
Very straightforward, low cost.
Fire alert, or are we okay?
It's the alarm's going off, but it doesn't.
It's a false
appear
alarm.
to disconfirm it. We're good.
So as long as there's no smoke. Thank you. Any questions?
And it is all liquid.
Okay.
Just want to make sure, right? So we can, I think that was one of the questions on the proposal response was that this is liquid. You can get cash if you do need for the university in 3 to 5 business days.
Yeah.
And so, it's pretty standard in our industry to get the cash back into the bank. So are there any questions or any administrative?
I've got the documents, so I've got to get them signed, and then Abby's got the
Why?
transfer instructions. So as soon as, so it falls in our court, we'll try to get the cash to them. So,
Thank you.
That's all we have.
And that's very good. We're happy.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's in the name. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
See you guys.
Take care.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone.
Mucho.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Have a good day, everyone.
Okay, great. All right, now we have item 4.0 new business, and we have an action item 4.1. And this
Madam
is
Chair, before we continue, can
Regent Sotesa, can I just do a quick audio check on you, please?
Yep, can you guys hear me okay?
Okay, yeah, just double checking because of what we're experiencing back here. Thank you.
okay. Is the video? Do you need the video?
He's here.
Yeah, he's there.
He's here.
Oh, but not there. Okay. All right, no problem. Okay, so we have action item 4.1. It's resolution relative to authorizing the university to pledge internal endowment funds for the new Water and Environmental Research Institute, RURI, building and the School of Health Annex. And first, it's investment committee that's requesting this, and that Randy has reviewed and the president has endorsed. And then we are gonna also have BFA and this physical facility committee also review. So do I have a motion for the action item?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Okay. Did I see someone raise their hand? Oh, no.
Read it.
Second.
Okay, yeah. Okay, great. All right, so let's have discussion. Randy?
Yeah, so the 70% drawings are done for the two projects being funded mostly by the US Economic Development Administration grants. And so that's the Weary building and the nursing annex. And the grant we got was about 8.5, and we've already come to the board on another issue where the board had provided some funding to be repaid by RCOG over time. And RCOG is not benefiting from the buildings, but they're using some gains that they're projecting to be available to pay back that loan that they're taking from us. But the 70% drawings have indicated that project costs have gone up more. And so we've gone from about 12 to about 17 for the projects. And we need to make a filing this month. EDA has now that they've got the 70% numbers, they plugged it into a chart, and they're saying, okay, show us how you're gonna fund this. And so if we don't give that to them, we think the project is gonna just fall apart. And so we'd like to use the internal endowment funds for the purpose of making this pledge, but the president met with Lieutenant Governor last week, and we've had some meetings with the UOG endowment to try to find other sources of funding these buildings, and there's been some fruit from those. But I guess the way I would put it is that we're trying to get the approval to use these funds to make this filing. A few things can happen. Number one, we haven't bid the projects yet, and we should have bids in a couple months. It could be that the bids come in low. So when we bid our engineering annex, it came in a little bit less than the engineer estimate. So that can happen. I don't think it's going to be significantly low, but it could come low. But especially because when the architects did their 30% design, they had come up with a 12 million number, and now they came up with this 17 million number. So there's been some big changes, and maybe as the economy around the world stabilizes, it could be that the costs come down a little bit. Yeah, our issue on this is that if you look at the internal endowment, the total amount that's open to board discretion is just under $6 million as of 12/31. So, Mark, we've done well since 12/31, so that number is probably up a little bit, but this would really constrict our liquidity if we ended up using all the funds for this. So I think that we would need to wait till we get the actual quotes in, and then take a second look and try to figure out, are there cost cutting options we should go through? Should we try to shrink the buildings a little bit? Are there other things we can defer from the projects? Although they're pretty lean, they are pretty lean as it is. They've been dealing with the same thing everyone else has been dealing with, that the costs have been just going crazy for construction. So the approach we're looking at is to just get the approval for this, allow the university an opportunity to talk to the legislature, talk more with the executive branch, talk more with the endowment, and see what we can do to find other sources to pay for this, so we don't wipe out all our liquidity. So anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's the basic idea, and it is I think a demonstration of the use of these resources for the benefit of the university, and this is a lower risk one than some of the other ones that we have thought about.
Yeah.
And I'm optimistic that the administration and with endowment, everyone loves to fund capital projects. Because they can see it, they can, say, okay, here is the results. So I'm really hopeful that we can get the funding, without touching it. But yeah, so that makes sense. Just we're planning ahead. So I just have a question on, you said 6 million is available per policy, right? So is that kind of how this resolution kind of reads, where we were able to tap into it, but per policy at the time that we need it, we just stay within that, right?
Yeah,
So we don't have to put a dollar amount or anything.
do we not have a dollar amount?
Yes, it's 4 million right up here.
Where?
Open paragraph.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't look at the detail.
Yes,
Reason.
it should be on page 1.
Hey, Randy, this is Roland. Just a quick question. On the original estimate that we got, what was that number that we had, and how big was the building? You have that handy? And then what's the new number? And is the size of the building the same?
Yeah, so the first number we had was, our first budget estimate was 8.5, it went to 9.2, and then it went to about 12. And yeah, now we're up at 17.
Got it. And then the source of fund, when we were at the sort of the 8.5, that was going to get funded through grants and then some of it through the university endowment. Is that how that was working?
So the first 8.5 was coming from the grant, and then they went to the endowment foundation to get some additional. Oh, Kevin's on. So we got the endowment for some additional funds, and then we came to the internal endowment the next time, and now we're back at the internal endowment for this one.
Got it. So in addition to the executive and the legislative branch, maybe helping us out here, the ask is the additional 6 from the endowment, and then the balance would be from the exec branch. Is that how you're looking at it?
We're trying not to give anything from our endowment. So we're
okay.
The plan was to try to go elsewhere, the legislature, the governor, the endowment, and see if they could fund these cost increases.
Got it. And how big is the building? Just out of curiosity, just gross square feet.
Do you know that off the top?
Yeah, it's 13,000 square feet for Wary, that's 3 stories, and 11,960 square feet for the nursing annex.
Okay. All right. Thanks. No, I just wanted, because we also saw the same pain point with our data center build in Alupang, and I just wanted to see how these numbers were coming in. And then the estimates that we got, is that, who you guys happen to know who the contractors are that quoted us?
Well, we don't have the contractors yet. RIM is our architect and they gave us the estimate.
Ah, got it. Okay, all right. Okay, thanks, guys.
Okay, so Randy, so do you think it's you're okay to just have 4 billion? You don't want to put like a 4 to 6 million? Do you're confident that 4 million is good? So that way we don't have to come back to, you know, in order to move forward with
Worst
it?
case scenario, what are you thinking? What are you looking at?
Worst case, I'm planning on best case, but
Good.
yeah, and that's kind of where I got the 4 million. So that's
Okay,
that's a good issue. We could change it to 5 just to try to be a little bit safe, but yeah, I'm trying not.
Yeah, I mean, of course, best case scenario, we don't use anything, right? But
Right.
just in case everything just falls through, and then we're at the point where, hey, we need to move on this. So what's your expert, you know, guess of what we really need if there's an absolutely worst case scenario?
I'm about to give you guys the just for the
Well, if it's per, what do you call it, per policy, you know, where we can, like, I think, how would you like to like proceed? Because policy, it says we can use the money above a certain threshold, right?
Oh, no, but
No,
sorry,
That's not,
that's the land grant and there's a restriction on the
I
land
see,
grant.
Oh, okay.
but this is just the internal endowment. So that one,
This
so
is-
I'm just putting it out there, instead of having it 4, do you want to say 4 to 6? Or just so that we, you know, if everything falls through, we don't have to like come back and hurry up and try to,
But certainly, possibly, you know,
Yeah.
and near that. we
Yeah.
can certainly do it for safety.
just for safety.
Yeah.
And anyway, this is just a planning thing that we're doing, so just in case things, you know, don't pan out, we're ready to go, right?
This could be an amendment to the.
Yeah,
resolution.
so could we go ahead and pass this resolution for with the amendment?
You need to amend it first.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so I guess so how do I withdraw the first?
Oh, no, you
If you
can just
don't-
amend.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody,
Okay,
Motion
so,
to amend, yeah.
so I'd like to call for a motion to amend the 4 million to 4 to 6 million.
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
So move.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second,
Okay, we already discussed this, so
Vote.
any other discussions?
Just to amend it to what,
4 to 6 million.
might as well just say 6, though.
Yeah, where?
Yeah,
I guess.
if you say up to 6.
Up to
Up to
6.
six,
There you
up
go,
to six.
there you go.
Randy, where in the resolution though, because
It's right here.
Right here.
it should be no, but that's referencing the old resolution. So the old resolution authorized the 4 million, right? So
oh, so we need to add that.
So I think it needs to be on the now, therefore be it resolved.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
she put it there
right.
too. Okay, she put it there too. Yeah,
Good
yeah, you're right.
catch, Rachel.
Yeah, that's correct.
This is
Thank you,
why
Rachel.
we hired her, right? Keep us all in check.
There you go, bro.
So to utilize up to 6 million
Yes.
Yes.
of internal endowment funding.
That's
Yes, there you go.
There we go. Yeah.
That was.
All right, so there's no more discussion. I call for a vote, all in favor. This is,
So on the amendment.
okay, so this is on the amendment. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, now we will vote
The resolution.
for the
Yeah,
resolution
with the amendment.
with amendment. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, so moved. All right. So we're gonna move on to 4.2, item number 4.2. I think under this item, what we wanted to discuss was allowing for Zoom meetings,
Oh, yeah.
moving forward. Do we need to take action on this, or is it just a discussion?
You can discuss it, but the chair needs to make a decision
Mhm.
on it.
So-
And if it's gonna be, it's per se an action, yes.
Okay, so, I guess, so first, what we'll do is I'll, have a motion to allow for Zoom meetings as a committee, moving forward, for our investment committee. Is that okay? Is that a decent,
Motion.
motion? Okay, so can I have I'm sorry, can I have a motion?
Okay, I still make the motion.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll second that.
all right, okay, so now let's discuss. So my reasoning is, I think it's just more efficient for everyone for what we do in an investment committee. We don't have executive sessions, we don't have, we're all gonna be here for the board of regents. I think it'll be just really efficient for everyone. And because we're here the next week for the board of regents, I think it's going to be efficient. It's been efficient in Zoom. And so that's kind of my thoughts. Anybody else have any thoughts?
I'm in
I think
bilingual.
it's easier for either the Zoom, given the situation out there. Last thing I want to do is fight a 170-ton machine going down the road.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's better,
Yeah.
and then we can focus our energy on
The subject matter, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct.
What about you, Roland?
Yeah, I'm in big agreement here. Much more efficient.
Okay, so any other discussion? David, can you just remind us of what important things to remember when we're doing Zoom?
Yep, I'll copy it from the bylaws and
Yeah.
send it.
Okay.
Okay.
Great,
Awesome.
thank you.
All right, so let's take it to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, so carries. Are there any other businesses or announcements?
Just a comment, if the committee then chooses to have an on-site or face-to-face, you have to reverse that.
Okay,
Okay,
yes,
otherwise you
Got
can
it.
assume it's a Zoom.
okay. All right, any other announcements or business? If not, I call for adjournment. Motion,
So move.
second,
I second that.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Okay, please stop the recording and the live stream. Thank you.
Dave, I think you're recording. Thanks.
Oh, you don't have that authority. Okay, I'll take care of it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. That's good.
Hey, Dave, quick question.
Yes, sir.
Hey, are we gonna take a 30-minute break or can we roll to the next meeting?
We have to start the meeting on time because there's some people that have scheduled to attend it at the time it's supposed to start.
Yeah, got it. Okay, cool. See you guys in 35 minutes.
Okay.
You want to take it? Okay.
You're welcome to stay on if you like. We're gonna keep this Zoom.
See you, Daniel. Sure. Oh, I didn't see you come in. Okay.
I'm gonna pop off.
Good to see
Dave, can you
you.
stop the live stream, please?
Nice gym there. Really nice gym. I don't know when the last time was you've gone into the fitness.
I have not.
It's really.
Jane, can you stop the live stream, please?
Okay, I was just about to ask you.
Oh, you can